Hey everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to Video Talk for the start of 2023. It's a little bit unplanned, well, or I should say massively unplanned. This is a pop-up just because a subject has came up and I just had to talk about it, but it wouldn't be right without having a good colleague to talk about that I enjoy picking his brain. So that's why I asked a web developer and good friend George Nicholas to join me on the chat. So hey, George. Thanks for coming on. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good.
So, what happened
Ooh, Dr.
about
Ringo is in here. That's
Oh,
fine.
cool. Hey, doctor. So, what's cool is that I got a chance to pick your brain just because I thought of you immediately when this subject came up. And what it was is that the other day on Twitter, there was a post from Sean Cannell from Think Media. And what happened was that his YouTube channel, the Think Media podcast, got hacked. Um, I'm sorry, I had the graphic here, but as they say, everything happens can happen when we go live. But if I can find it, I'll bring it up there. But yeah, it's just that when I saw that, I'm like, ugh, that's not good. And then I think the other thing was just that I hope they've taken precautions like backing up their video or just
Another option than options.
think about like what means they have to safeguard their site.
Rodul, prima details, rodul,
So
bezig.
so it's just a matter of just trying to figure
Papa,
out as
am
to
educato, papa, it's democracia.
what's going on, and
Yeah,
then it's just a matter of just
bani
trying to
nu
figure out
data.
what things we can do. They're trying to like
Paano yan ang
get the word
gyoza
out,
sto?
and oop, hang on a
Paano
second.
yan ang gyoza storm?
So so it's just a matter of just getting things get getting things situated as to like getting the word out as to like what things should be people should be thinking about to safeguard themselves in terms of what preventive measures to prevent people from hacking their YouTube channel or just making sure they've taken precautions to just back up or at least make sure they have a copy of the video. So when I thought of like safeguard, so I got to talk to George and just get your view. What are your thoughts about what has happened transpire?
First off, let's see you can still hear me because I muted myself for a second because I'm in a house and everybody's coming and going, and I had to mute myself so you don't hear Greek while you're live streaming. Um, but we're good now. We're fine.
All right.
Everybody's left the building, as I say. So, um, let's let's talk. It is literally 10 p.m. where I am, so everybody's going to sleep, and they don't understand that I'm live streaming. So yeah, it's fine. Um, so let's talk about um the the proverbial hacking of channels and anything essentially. Okay, this is you're referring to a specific situation where it was a YouTube channel. And
Mhm.
obviously you're doing that because you're a production company and you're involved in videos and whatnot, and that's your valuable asset, if I can call it that. It's
Okay.
the videos, right?
Videos, right? Gotcha.
So so for other people it's the email. For other people it's you know for me it's my servers. People aren't supposed to be able to hack my servers. Okay, now the solution that I'm gonna suggest is well known, but loads of people don't do it, and I don't understand why. Because um, it's been mentioned a million times, and we say it. I don't know the specifics about the specific hack that you're talking about, the YouTube channel that got hacked, but I'm going to talk about the first and the most important thing: use two-factor authentication. And by two-factor authentication, I mean you need something that only you have, that for me to access your account, whether it's YouTube, your email, your server, whatever it is, you need a second piece of information other than your username or email and your password. Now, Usually that means an authentication app like Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator or something else. I don't know what people use nowadays. Um, I have to say that previously in the United States it used to be SMS, but because you're in the United States, I'll tell you about a little thing that happens in the States where people can spoof your number. In other countries, it's a bit harder. I don't think people can do it in Cyprus because Cyprus is just not that sophisticated yet, but I might be wrong. Um, I don't think somebody can spoof my SIM card yet, but I mean, if they catch on, they probably could. So I'd suggest not to use SMS. I'd prefer you use an app. Did I lose you at some point?
No, I'm here.
Did I? I thought I lost you.
No.
Okay. So let's start with that. You have to use a two-factor authentication. I'd suggest using an app for that, like Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator. And the simple reason is that code that it gives you is time sensitive. So it will expire in like 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever you set it to. So it's really important that you have that. Let's start with that, and then you can ask me any question you want about what you think would cause a channel to be hacked, and what, because I've got other things other than two-factor to mention, but I have to give you scenarios for you to understand how else the channel might have been hacked.
Yeah.
So feel free to give me your ideas as a simple user. How do you think they would hack your channel? How do you
If
think they would go about it? I'm not talking technical, like simply, how would they hack your channel? Where would they find your password, do you think? If we're assuming you don't have two-factor authentication, you just have your email and your password, where will they find that info?
well,
How do you think hackers would find it?
well, sometimes it's like it can be like an inside job. Like let's say the hacker has someone on the inside that has access to the channel, and they'd be able to to pass that information on to someone, and then they would be able to go in as as an admin or whatever, and then just kind of like wreak havoc. I would think that's the most direct way is how someone could happen. But I'm sure there's other ways to do it.
Okay, so on that point, I'm gonna ask you the same question in a second, as soon as I give an explanation to the point that you just raised. So it could be an inside job. I'm gonna mention a specific case where it wasn't a YouTube channel again, because I'm not into video production, so it won't. My examples will never be a YouTube channel per se.
Okay.
I'm gonna mention maybe one YouTube channel,
Okay.
but that's it. But for the next example, I'm gonna tell you that once upon a time there was a hack of a company that does WordPress plugins. The company was very transparent about it. They told us, obviously, because it was a WordPress plugin that I purchased and used, and I use it on clients' websites as well. They told us
Mhm.
you have to change your password because X and Y happened. And what happened was they had a they had a, how do I say this? A poor way of getting rid of the employees. So they fired somebody. This somebody was a developer like me. Um, they didn't have, how do I say this? They didn't have policies in place for the exit interview. So the guy's passwords were never invalidated.
Gotcha.
So he hacked their system and he took it down. Well, he didn't hack it. It was his password. It was his employee password that they never discontinued, right?
Mhm.
And because he was the developer, he could literally deactivate all my websites that were using that translation tool if he wanted to. All my translations would be lost. And that has to do with a company making a mistake of not having a exit policy for any employee they fire, because the employee was obviously disgruntled
Mhm.
and he just thought, okay, let's, no offense, but let's do something bad. I'll try not to use profanity so that you don't get banned on YouTube or anything. But
Okay.
But I would use a word, so you can fill in the blank if you want. But I mean,
Mhm.
they just went, okay, let's do this because we can. They just do, The company was straight up though, and they said, guys, change your passwords. It's fine, whatever. Um, they fixed everything. They deactivated the guy's codes. Obviously, he no longer has access. They cleaned the server and did everything. So the inside job is one way. Can
Yeah.
you guess another way they would hack your YouTube channel?
I'm trying to blank right now.
Inside
What's
job.
another way? Inside. Oh, so it isn't. Okay.
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 So the inside job you said. So the next one
Yeah.
it would be what? It's the simplest thing, but people don't think about it.
You mean like create a bug or something like that? Like a virus?
No, it's much simpler than that. I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll ask you a question, and you'll as soon as you have the answer, you'll know what I'm going for here. So, do you use the same password on multiple websites? Question mark.
Maybe.
Okay. So, let's assume I'm a LinkedIn user in 2010. I'm
Yes.
disclosing this because it was made public, so I can say it because everybody knows it, or everybody that's not living under a rock should know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
In LinkedIn, somebody hacked in 2010. Somebody hacked LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I don't know how or why, but they hacked LinkedIn. So they got the LinkedIn database
Yeah.
of usernames and of passwords. So because I had a LinkedIn account, they had my LinkedIn password. Now let's assume I was stupid enough to use my LinkedIn password for my email account, which is the same email that I had attached to LinkedIn. So let's say I have a Gmail account and I use the same password for both my LinkedIn and my Gmail account, right? Somebody hacked LinkedIn. If
Hmm.
somebody else went onto the dark web and bought the passwords, they have my password.
Right.
If I use that password in different places, boom, they can hack all those different places, and I wouldn't be the wiser because, for example, I don't have two-factor authentication.
Right.
Of course, now LinkedIn doesn't allow you to have a LinkedIn account unless you activate two-factor authentication. But
Right.
they know why. It's because it happened, and they know that they have to force the user because the user Robert isn't going to do it unless I force him to do it. And I'm not talking just about you, but literally, even I would be lazy to open an app to open my LinkedIn, whatever, right?
Right.
And I'm a coder. I know the implications of not having two factor, but if I could, I wouldn't have it because I'm too lazy to look at the app, open the app on my phone, find the code, blah blah blah, and then go in. Because I'm
Yeah.
just too lazy.
Right.
Straight up, I'm too lazy. There you go. And again, nobody can hack my LinkedIn now, even if I use a password that I use somewhere else, because they need this little device to get in,
Yeah.
and they don't have it. That's it. It's as
Yeah.
simple as that.
I mean, it's funny because like when it happened back then, and then you'd hear talk about like, oh, like I have my Google Gmail, and they want me to like tie into some subscription where they could use both, but then like you say, if they didn't have like the two-factor authorization, not only would they get access to the Gmail, but whatever else that's associated with that same setup
Hmm.
with username, password stuff. So, but so
But that, but that's how it usually happens. That's why.
right. But if we take it a step further, it's like, okay, now that we know we have like the two-way factor authorization as a way to try to help safeguard other people that
No,
hack
it's
into
the only way. It's the only way. There is
only
no
way.
two ways about it. Yeah, there's the only. That's the only way. And you should go to every single website that you have, every single one, and check if they provide a functionality where you can do two-factor authentication. Whether it's your Netflix account,
Hmm.
whether it's who knows what. And I'll explain why in a second. But
Okay.
go ahead. So why do I think I should have two-factor authentication on my Netflix account? Because I might still be stupid enough to use a password that either someone can guess, which is something stupid like my birthday, or I could have used it a long time ago, or it could be a funny word that I like using when I talk, and people just assume because I say it a lot, I might have put it in as my password because I'm an idiot, presumably, right? But it happens, and I and I don't mean that in any sort of bad way. It's just seriously, you use the and people that teach you about passwords, like people that are not like me, that are security people. I'm just a software engineer, right? I'm not a security expert by any means. But of course, because I write software, I also know the security principles. And the stuff they teach is don't use the same password.
Right.
Don't use anything that anybody that loves you can guess, for example. Because
Right.
today your girlfriend loves you, tomorrow she hates you, she wants to hack your Facebook account, and like, I don't know, whatever. Who knows? You know?
Right.
And do stupid things.
Right.
Or whatever. It doesn't really matter. What I'm saying is, presumably it should be something that nobody can guess simply by knowing you. Okay? That's it. Um, I have other things to talk about regarding YouTube specifically, and I'll
Yes.
bring out an example from YouTube as well.
Okay.
So I love watching American stuff,
Hmm.
whether it's American TV
Hmm.
or American YouTubers.
Right.
And I watch a lot of scam baiting channels on YouTube. I'm not gonna mention which ones because you guys can go and find out for yourselves because I like it when people chase down the people that scam,
Oh
whether
yeah.
it's Americans or from other countries. I
Yeah.
love it. It's my
Yeah.
thing. I love watching it. I love them being idiots because they are. That's all I can say. And actually, I the scam baiting thing has started in Cyprus as well.
Okay.
And they actually called my dad because he's retired. So they
Okay.
called him to try and scam him into giving his computer access to them. My dad can't use the computer by any means, so he doesn't have a computer, but they assumed he did.
Right.
So the person said, "I'm Emily from Microsoft." My dad heard English and he heard the word Microsoft and he heard the word computer, so he gave me the phone because
Okay.
he knows the computer guy is me, right? So
Yeah.
if Microsoft is calling, it's probably me they want, he assumed.
Yeah.
So, which it wasn't, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I literally went off on the lady, and I said to her, "Look, first of all, I don't work at Microsoft, by the way, for anyone listening to this. But I said to her, I work at Microsoft. I have all the employee IDs in front of me, and there is no Emily. And even if there were here in Cyprus, where I live, she would be speaking Greek, and in Greek we don't have the name Emily. So you're not Microsoft. Goodbye, and don't ever call me here again." Like, and of course,
Exactly.
because I was screaming, she never called again. And now in her little database on my dad's name, she probably put never call this guy, he's Microsoft or something. Whatever, right? What I'm saying is there's many ways people can hack into her system. They can tell you I'm your bank and
Yep.
I need you to give me your password, which they will never do. No bank in no country will ever ask for your password. If they
Right.
want something from you, they'll tell you come down to the bank and sign this piece of paper to do X, Y, or Z.
Right.
Okay? So there's many ways people can get what they want from you, and they can guess most of your information from the internet. Some religious, I want to call it a cult, but I shouldn't probably because I think it's a religion. But anyway, some
Right.
religious people called me on the phone and they said, "We are XYZ and we think you can help you. We can help you." And I said, "How did you find my number, first of all?"
Right.
And they said, "Oh, we found your number on this website called blah 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 blah.com, whatever." They said something random. And I'm like, "Why is my number on that website?"
Yeah.
But it was. And they called me. And they assumed that I would fall for their little religious cult, whatever thing they were selling at that
Right.
point.
Yeah.
But it happens. So your information's out there.
Right.
I can find how old you are without knowing you at all.
Right.
I can just say, Shalala Productions, find the directors. Oh, it's Robert Lee. Where does Robert Lee live? I can Google wherever your house is. It will be somewhere out there on
Right.
Facebook or somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'll find you It's as simple as that. That's so. The reason I mentioned the scam baiters initially was because I wanted to reference something. So there's a guy that's in the scam baiting community that is a legend.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say his name because he wouldn't want me to.
Right.
He actually hacks into their systems.
Okay.
I'm not gonna wager whether that's legal or illegal, but he
Right.
screws with their systems and he takes them over and he tries to save people
Right.
to not lose their money.
Right.
And most of them, unfortunately for you, are American. Unfortunately, I wish I could say something else, but unfortunately, it's US,
Yeah.
Canada. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So this guy is a legend,
Mhm.
and I have to tell you, they managed to via email. They managed to persuade him that they were YouTube support, and that he had to click the specific link to do something to his YouTube channel. He clicked it, and that actually deleted all his videos from YouTube.
Ugh.
The guy didn't have a backup of his channel or anything, so he got into a discussion with YouTube.
Hmm.
He got his channel reinstated and all of that stuff. It was
Yeah.
fine. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is this guy is an actual, I'm not lying, he's an actual hacker. I mean
Yeah.
he's not just a programmer like me, he's not just somebody random. He's an actual like if I had to say anonymous, I would put him in that kind of level of hackers. Like
Okay.
okay. And he got his channel back, but he had to go through a thing. What I'm saying is it can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
It can happen to anybody, even if you know what you're doing.
Right.
Because they somehow persuaded him that they were YouTube. Now, but it had to like there had to be levels to it. Like it had to be like a YouTube verification email, then something else,
Right.
then something else. This guy isn't stupid, right?
Yeah.
So they did something very sophisticated. It's called social engineering, and they got all the exact bits of information that would prove to him that they are actually YouTube, and they managed to make him because they made him press the buttons. They didn't press the
Hmm.
buttons. They made him do it, and his channel was lost,
Right.
and that was it. All I'm trying to say is anybody can be hacked, and it's not a matter of if it will happen, it's a matter of when it will happen.
Right.
So this is where I'm gonna let you segue into why you think it's a good idea, because you said this before we went live. You said,
Yep.
what do I do if I don't want to be hacked? What's my next solution? And you said, why don't I just back up all my stuff? Well,
Yeah.
that's one way. That's
Yeah.
one way of doing it.
Yep.
But it also depends on how much stuff you actually have.
Right.
So,
See.
um, yeah,
No. No. I was just gonna say, like, yeah. I mean, that's it. If you start early, like, if you have a work um processy in place where you're backing up from day one, okay, then it's just a matter like you got everything backed up, so
no,
you're
no,
good.
no.
But a lot of people, they're probably like caught in the middle where like they hadn't even thought about it, so you have to like look at the volume of footage, assets, whatever you have to back up, and so it presents new challenges like how do I, is there like an efficient way to back up the stuff and everything like that. So
Can I
go
ask
ahead.
you a question? Do you know who Linus Tech Tips is? Have you heard of this YouTube creator, Linus Tech Tips?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen. I mean, some of the stuff I saw is just more like on the hardware, the gear stuff. You know.
It is, but there's a reason he does videos about that. He because he does a lot of editing on his videos and stuff before it goes out on his multiple like channels that he has or whatever it is
Mhm.
on YouTube. He has a server where he has all his crap backed up, but it's not. It's like it's like petabytes of data. Petabytes of data is not affordable for a normal person. He probably makes loads of money, so I don't really know. Obviously, I'm only speculating, but I mean, there's a reason he has like a room full of hard drives that has all his YouTube stuff. And there's one video on his channel where his server crashed and he almost thought he lost all the data, and he got a data recovery company to restore the videos that he was editing or whatever. People can go and watch that, but what I'm saying is there is no actual real solution to the problem of storage. That's why most people that put videos on YouTube don't have them at home. They put them on YouTube and they chuck the video because they're not going to
So
keep it.
before we go further, for those that are trying to do the numbers, a petabyte is like how many terabyte or gigabyte?
1024 terabyte is a petabyte.
Wait.
Yeah.
So
So, and this guy has like not 1 petabyte. He has like 100 or 200 or 300 petabyte. He's like it's a whole room full of hard drives with only his video stuff. And I'm not
yeah,
joking. He actually showed it because when the system was crashing, he was making a video and he was really stressed out. But yeah, I mean it's his business, so I understand why he was stressed out, and I
yeah,
get it. But I mean, there is no. What are you gonna do? Like if you were doing uh 20, 30, 100 videos a week, where
right.
would you stick the stuff? And he has editors on stuff and other stuff, so they leave projects in the middle while they're still like in production or whatever, or post production, whatever you guys call it. I'm not really even sure what they call, because I don't do videos of that quality. I do videos for my clients just to show them one or two things, and I just leave it at that. I don't give a damn whether I
Yeah.
have it on my hard drive or not, honestly.
I mean, yeah, it's all a
Um,
scale. But I mean, if you're looking at it like for small business and stuff, I mean, just the idea of just at least having something in place, even if you are selective as to what you back up, it's just a good habit to have um things that you've earmarked as something as vital or assets that, if anything would happen, at least you have it safeguard. So
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
but that's a cost to you, and it's something you have to plan for up before. Like you can't just take on. I can't just send you my little hard drive from Cyprus and expect you to store your video productions on there. It's not going to
well,
work, bro. It's going to work for a while, and then it's going to stop working for you.
Well, I know, like, there's only so much you can back up, but what I'm saying is, like, you have to be a little bit selective, whether it's economic reasons or time crunch reasoning as to ones that you've deemed, like, this is stuff I can't afford to, like, lose.
I can't lose. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
to your point, yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
I totally understand. It's just a matter of at least having that, having something in place to at least do something about, so that if everything just at least you got some vital things to be able to run with, or just, not just for posterity, but for whatever reasons you may need to back up and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But what I'm saying is there is no place on the planet where there's enough hard drive space to store all your stuff and keep it at home. There is no such possibility. At least not today. I don't know in 20 years from now. When I'm 60, there might be like a small chip that I can put in my finger or something that can probably take like petabytes or something. I don't know, maybe, but not today. You can't physically do that right now.
Yeah, I mean, if people had a solution, then it would solve the hoarding problem. So, but I mean, it's just funny because like you start from like when computers start, you megabytes on a floppy disk was big. Then you went from megabytes to kilobytes, and the gigabyte, terabyte. Like, it's just like before you know, like even I bet you
Yeah.
we get the point that petabytes is going to be something that people look at as a gigabyte kind
As
of
a
a thing.
small thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Exactly. At some point it's gonna be that. But we're gonna be long dead by then. But you get my point. Yeah. Um it's just a matter of there is no enough space in the world for this to happen. Um you to actually have it at home or whatever.
mhm.
It's just not possible. And unless you're a big company and you spend money on servers that you maintain and you sort of look over and watch over, especially if you do crazy production stuff like Mr. Beast. I can't even imagine how much footage Mr. Beast has, if you know who Mr. Beast is. But I mean, the guy makes millions. He spends millions to make his videos. I'm
Yeah.
assuming he has some kind of storage somewhere where he has all his junk in case something happens to his YouTube channels. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the guy. I would be honored to meet the guy, but I mean, honestly, his brain will be like exploding when I talk to him. But yeah, there is no possible way that everybody has their footage and can keep it. It's just not possible.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, Totally agree. I mean, I think at the very least, my takeaway, I hope people look at it, is just that not only just to be aware about, but at least, there's some things you can do to try to minimize or at least start thinking about developing good habits to either safeguard
You
or
know
just
what
at
it
least.
is?
Mhm.
You know what it is? People need to understand that although I'm a programmer and I hate two-factor authentication, it's a must.
Yeah,
I hate doing it. I hate it because when a client calls me, I need to get onto their website immediately,
yeah,
and I have to press the buttons, and I don't want to be looking at my phone trying to solve the problem because time is money.
yeah.
Uh, but you can't do it without two-factor. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, I hate it. Yes, it's a hassle. Yes, you have to have your phone. And what if my phone breaks and I lose my two-factor authentication? Well, you should have stored your backup codes when the program told you to store your backup codes, which is another habit people have to learn.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's like there is no other way, unfortunately. Um, you have you have to force yourself to do two-factor authentication.
Right.
Another thing I would suggest is use a free software, um, whether it's LastPass, for example, or I don't even know if OnePass is free now, or OnePassword is free, but there's loads of solutions where you don't even have to remember your passwords. Just use random ones. Just use
Mhm.
random BS that nobody knows about. My passwords, I swear to you right now, there's not one password in my list that I know off the top of my head. And the reason is not even my email password. And the reason is I use random passwords. I I don't care if it's a Hotmail or I'm gonna have a problem if LastPass goes down one day and I can't access my password database. But that's something I can live with, rather than somebody hacking me. If that makes sense.
Exactly. Oh, hang on, let me put out this fire. Okay.
Exactly right.
So, yeah, I hear you. But yeah, I mean, the minute I saw that that come up on the feed, I'm like, oh, it's hard not to shake your head, but also like, they just gotta be like,
It's not their fault. It's just you
no,
never
no,
think it will happen to you.
yeah,
You never think it will happen to you. You never do. You just never do. It's human nature. You just think, oh, it's gonna happen to the next guy. It's never gonna happen to
right.
me.
Then all of a sudden,
And
oh,
maybe the YouTube channel you're talking about, I guess, because it got some coverage, I'm assuming they're a big deal. I guess
I mean,
the
big deal
YouTube
within
channel that you
like the
mentioned.
YouTube community and marketing, just in terms of the sheer amount of content they put out about um growing a YouTube channel, some video production, some
Oh,
podcasts and
so they
stuff.
are teaching. Yeah,
So,
but the thing is with these kind of things, you shouldn't look at the people and say, oh, they probably didn't know what they were doing. It's got nothing to do with that.
no, no,
It's somebody that dropped the ball somewhere, but
right.
it's not one person's fault. Like it's not. It's either they were like, honestly, if I checked your passwords now, would I find passwords that you use on multiple sites the same ones? If I checked your password list now, yes, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. And I'm sure if I check your YouTube channel or your LinkedIn or your Facebook or your TikTok or your whatever, I'm sure you don't have like two-factor authentication on it. I'm sure you don't.
Well, LinkedIn, I
It,
do.
it just yeah, but why? Why do you have it on LinkedIn? Why?
Because they offer
Because they forced you
it.
to. No, they didn't offer it. They forced you to do it. They forced you, and they said, press the button, or else I'm not letting you onto LinkedIn. Period.
Right, which is
That's
they
why I
offer
think,
you to do it or don't.
yeah, we can live without you. If you don't want your LinkedIn profile, goodbye. Like,
Right.
yeah,
But
that's fine. We can live without it. But that's the thing, right? Because let's say I use a random password. Even if I use a random password today, if
mhm,
somehow one of my passwords gets hacked, let's say I used a random password on, oh, do you remember what's that stupid service that you guys used to have in America that we don't have at all? We never had.
mhm.
What was it? MySpace. You
Oh,
guys had a thing called MySpace. It was like pre-Facebook sort of stuff. Like, um, if I used one of my random passwords on MySpace,
mhm,
and for some reason I kept that random password and was using it somewhere else, even random passwords get hacked, okay?
Mhm.
And one day your Google Chrome will tell you, "Oh, we found this password of yours in the on the dark web. Please make sure to change it or whatever." Because Google has that functionality where it can check your passwords, the ones that you've got saved
Mhm.
on your Google Chrome.
Mhm.
It does a scan from time to time and it says, "Oh, this password has been compromised. Please make sure to change it," and it will tell you to change it. But what I'm saying is any password can be compromised. It's just a matter of it's better that you don't use one password for everything. Because, for example, if you use your let's take Facebook and your email. If you use the same password for your email and your Facebook, and they hack your Facebook, then they automatically can hack your email and they can change your Facebook email account, and your Facebook's gone.
Right.
Especially for people like you that spend a lot of time trying to put out content on Facebook sometimes, or on YouTube, for example. For you, it would be tragic if they hacked your YouTube today. So you want two-factor authentication on all your Google stuff,
Mhm.
which, by the way, because YouTube is connected to like Google, Gmail, and whatever, you can do that all in one with a two-factor thing. Don't have to go through every service, but you need to sit and do it, and it's a pain, but you have to. And when you do the two-factor authentication, just change your password at the same time. Like put a random one in there. You don't have to know what it is. Nobody cares. The only password you need to remember is the password you use to access your your password software, like LastPass and stuff. That's the only one I know off the top of my head. Because if something goes wrong and I need to log into LastPass again, that's all I need. Because as soon as I do that, then all my passwords are like come back to my system because
Yeah.
I log on to that.
Yeah. I know I have to like at
I'm
least
done.
go old school and just have it written down because like there's like so many
My
stuff I
God.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you understand your own handwriting? For me, because I have a
Ah,
disability,
you
and
assume if I
even
wrote it down, I have it typed it out. So.
no. I'm talking about I have a disability, and even if I write it on a piece of paper, because of my shaky hands, I can't remember what I wrote. It doesn't make any. There's no point in me writing it down because I
Oh no.
can't read
Yeah.
my own handwriting.
Oh no, man!
Yeah.
Stuff like that, I have to type it out for password stuff. Because if I wrote in a hand or
Well,
like an I looks like a one
if
stuff.
I come to Boston and I steal your hard drive, you're gone, bro. If you have it in
That's
a Word document, you're gone. Like
that's
if I come and
assuming I
steal
had it
your
on a
hard drive,
hard
you're gone.
drive.
Well, where else would it be? You said it's not on paper. You said it's typed out. So where the hell is it? Did you do it with an Olivetti typewriter and stick the paper somewhere in your house? I mean,
Hey,
literally,
I'm
if I come and burn down your house, the paper's gone, bro. You're lost without your
that's
passwords.
that's assuming that you can get it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but
before
you know what I mean. Yeah.
but yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, so I mean, again, I mean, it's uh, even though like it may be like an old conversation, of like oh, blah, blah. It's always good to just at least in the back of your mind that be cognizant so that as to like being aware of like things you can do and what things you have control and what not over. I just think it just gets easily overlooked.
You know what? I truly hope that there's like literally a policy on the internet that forces every website in the world to have two-factor authentication. That would be for free, because that would be amazing. Do you remember the days when SSL wasn't required? So SSL is the green padlock that you get on your website that says it's secure and everything. That just means that the traffic is encrypted between your computer and the website. So if somebody's in the middle and intercepting your traffic, they could potentially, I don't know, read your password from your WordPress admin, for example.
Right.
But now with SSL, they can't because they don't know the decryption key. That's why there was this movement to create something called Let's Encrypt, which allows us to get free SSL certificates for any website we want. Because before you had to pay like $120 per year to have an SSL certificate. Now you can get it for free. I wish they do something similar for two-factor authentication. And I wish that they force websites to forcibly make people do it, because nobody will do it if they don't have to.
Mhm.
Nobody. If they don't have to by force, they won't do it. And if everybody had two-factor authentication, the internet would be a safer place. Nobody would get hacked any day of the week. Nobody. It's as simple as that. They have to make it a standard. That's it.
So, folks, if you have like a genie bottle that you can send to George's way so he can make these wishes, just let us know. So,
I'm gonna make the wish anyway, because once upon a time there wasn't free SSL, now there is. So I urge any service and any provider like Google and the big boys to actually make a service like that. Force everybody to do it. I would do it. If you force me, I have no choice. I want my website, so I have no choice. So force me to do it then. Or even people like me that use loads of WordPress. I use loads of other stuff as well, but let's start with WordPress. The WordPress core team should just come around and say, okay, we're forcing every WordPress website to have two-factor authentication, no matter if you use as a client or whoever it is. Just make them do it, because if I'm looking over my own website, I'm the admin, I'm a computer guy, I can figure it out.
Mhm.
But if Robert has a user account on my website and Robert uses a password that's hacked and he never logs onto my website to change it, people can hack my website. Assuming I gave Robert access to my website, which I didn't, but I'm just saying that if I did, it was possible.
I'd be
I
worried if you
mean,
did anyway. So,
I'd be more worried than you, believe me.
yeah, no, well, we won't get into
But
that.
yeah,
But yeah, I hear
no,
you.
no, yeah, yeah.
But
I urge the powers that be to make this a thing. Force people to do it. There's no other way. There's no other way. Force everybody.
I had a punchline, but I'll say it for another time. But in any case, um, there you have it, folks. But I thought because pretty much like any other question I had, pretty much just you already been addressed earlier. But I thought since we've gone on about the two-factor authentication and the safeguard stuff like that, I just want to throw it out to you as like, was there anything that came up this week that was on your mind that you want to share others, whether it's in tech or
Um,
anything?
what came up this week? People have been talking about artificial intelligence taking over my job. Well, I've got news
Okay.
for you, bro. Artificial intelligence is good, and I use it every single day. I've got a tab open here right next to me that has artificial intelligence working for me, but it can never replace me. What it can help me do is is be more productive. Like instead of spending 10 hours coding 1,000 lines, I can make it code the 1,000 lines for me. I can find the one mistake that it will make and I can fix it. But it can't replace me because my brain still works when I look at the code. Because people say to me, because somebody generated code for me and they said, how do you know it's right or wrong? And I said to them, well, I know it's wrong because there's this missing. And he's like, how did you notice? How do you know? It's because I know how to code. Artificial intelligence can never replace human beings. Period. That's it. If they do, then we're going to be in a situation, uprising and stuff like that, like doomsday kind of scenario. So for now,
Yeah.
they can't, but they can help me be smarter than I am, which is great.
Yeah. Although it's funny as you say that, just that I think this past few weeks I've been seeing people posting these illustrations that they use this AI app where they just take images of like, let's say if
Yeah, you're talking about Midjourney.
right, yeah, and it's almost
I'm
like,
not a designer, so it's got nothing to give me. I'm not a designer, and I don't know if I'd ever need that,
but it's just the
but I use
idea.
the coding AIs.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just in terms of how AI is being used in the creative space, whether it's the art images, and then I think someone had posted I saw on LinkedIn that's I think it was like called like God
Chat
GTP or
GPT.
I'm sorry, Chat
Chat
GTP.
GPT. It's the
Yeah,
same one I use for the coding stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and it's funny because like they had, I guess someone had shared a link that Ryan Reynolds had put out about using Chat GTP to write an article promoting Mint Mobile in his tone. It was actually pretty close, and it was pretty. It's pretty
Yeah,
fun.
but I mean it can do it for people that knows, but it can't do Robert Lee because it doesn't know who Robert Lee is.
At least
And to be honest, if I was following you, like there's specific people that I follow on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't follow their channels if it wasn't for their character or their unique spin on the way they think about things. I can't replicate that. Okay, so I can't replicate it. Simple as that. I mean, you can take some text from the AI if it helps you write a nice description. Fine.
Mhm.
Then go and change it and put your own sort of spin on it. That's all. If it helps you save 10 hours for me, that AI makes mistakes when it codes, and it does stupid coding stuff. Like I would never do that when I was coding. It does stupid things, but it saves me 500 hours a week.
Right.
500 hours a week for me is like I can go to sleep now instead of work. I don't have to because yeah, it saved me some time. Yeah, it does bullshit and it's wrong, but yeah, it's okay. I can fix it because I'm human and I have a brain. It doesn't
Right.
have my brain, and that's why it can't replace me. Just like it can't replace you for whatever production stuff you do. It can't think like you. It just can't.
I'd be scared if there's other people that think like me, but yeah, I get what you say.
Yeah, but I mean, your followers, like the people that follow you or read your newsletter, when they read it, they can tell Robert wrote it, right? I can tell it's you that wrote it because I know you. Does that make sense? Like I said to somebody the other day, a YouTuber, a creator, I said to him, I got your newsletter because I know him. We're friends, right? Actual friends. I said to him, I swear to God, you didn't write that. And he says, yes, my business partner wrote it. How did you know? And I'm like, it's not you. The wording is not. It's not you. There's your tone is missing from it.
Yeah.
And the way you twist things, I would have known if it was you.
Yeah. It's like
And
how
it
you
was
write
like,
is
I
almost
can't
like a
believe you
signature.
noticed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like coding. Coding. Like I helped somebody write some code, and the person was a university student. He happened to go to the same school that I did in the country that I live, and the professor told him, "I know who helped you do this because my signature is very unique."
Yeah.
And I didn't do it with malicious intent, but he said to them, I know the guy who helped you fix this because only he would fix it like this.
Right.
And it's because I know my signature because they used to mark my papers. Right? They can tell it's me.
Yeah.
They can tell.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
But I'm going to use this, take this as a little wrap up. But before I do that,
Yeah.
I thought I'd just do a little bit of what I call admin there. But just to give people a heads up, for those that have followed our other programming, Pop Goes a Stream, that I co-host with Xanthi, we go back online on January 30th, and that's at, oh shoot, the graphic was here a second ago. Here it is.
Let's see if I can teach you how to say her name in Greek just for fun.
She did she did tell me how to do it, but sometimes I would forget, or that it would come out kind of close to it.
No, it doesn't come to you guys in America because you do you make the X to Z.
True.
That's the thing.
So
if I would say her name because I'm Greek and I know how to say it, it will come out right. But it's harder for you because you change the letters.
In which case, she'll give me grief when we go back live. But we'll go back. We're going back on live on January 30th.
When are you guys coming? Ah, cool.
January 30th, 3 p.m. My time. That's 9 p.m. Central European time, and that's be on our respective YouTube
10
channels.
p.m. for me, essentially.
Yeah, be on our Twitch, be on the Shalala Facebook channel, and they'll be all ready waiting. And it'll be a fun episode. We'll actually talk about the Netflix show Wednesday, which I was excited when she was. Yeah, so we might actually
finished that. I haven't finished that, so I'll finish that before, so that I have something to contribute to the conversation. Then.
Yeah, I'll try and make sure that there's no spoiler alerts or anything like that. So,
but hey, don't make me go watch my Star Trek now. Don't make me do that. I have to go to sleep.
I couldn't help
Now
but
I
throw
need
that up
about
there.
now I need about 4 episodes of Star Trek to get myself to sleep now.
All right, well,
And it has to be action packed so that I hear the sound, but
so no trouble for triples
I'll
for
find
you there. So,
no,
uh,
I'm good.
and then and just a reminder, last week I went on live, and I just need to pull these up here. So I am offering a complimentary 30-minute consultation. It's just a matter if you follow the link below, just can just sign up and we can talk about like things how I maybe help or at least get you in the right direction. And then just another reminder that we got some resources out there that there it is. Whether if you like to become a member to the live streaming friends, or if you like to get a copy of the video production budgeting guideline, the consumer edition, see the links up there above there. So, shoot, hang on, let me just a little bit stuck here on the transitions here. There you go. So just had to
We're back.
get that back out there. So, yeah, so that's about it. So, gonna wrap up. Appreciate you hang in there with me. I know it's late where you are, but I mean, the topic when it came up the other day, I just knew that I had to reach out to you, George. I'm just glad we had a chance to chew the fat about it.
I'm happy to always give some of my insights. It might be crazy, but because I have to live with the consequences of what happens after, and I have to fix people's problems after that, it's sort of a good thing we have a chat. So hopefully people will like get in the groove of like using two-factor authentication. So I'm not that stressed about trying to fix the hacked websites or whatever. But yeah, it was a great talk. Just remember, it's not the people's fault. It just happens sometimes. Like it, you have to give props to the companies that actually come out and say, you know what, guys, we've been hacked. Just go and do XYZ, change your passwords or whatever. Because I always appreciate that more than if I hear about it 2 years later on the news.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, with that being said, just gonna let you guys go, and yeah, like I said, whenever these topics come up, we just do like an impromptu, unscripted. Well, not like it was scripted. Stream just about the topic, and so if you catch us live, we're always glad to take questions. Or and if you're catching us to replay, if you can just mention the comment that just kind of replay, and if you have a question, you could leave it in the respective channels or wherever you're seeing us, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So, so for Video Talk, I've been Robert Lee, and I've been with,
George Nicolau.
and we will catch you guys later. Take
See
it
you
easy,
guys soon.
everyone.
Stay safe, everyone. Bye.